Welcome to the deep dive. We sift through stacks of info, pull out the key insights, and basically make you instantly well-informed. Today, we're tackling something that, well, affects almost everyone as they get older, but maybe doesn't get talked about nearly enough. Have you noticed, maybe everyday things like opening jars feel tougher, or climbing stairs leaves you more winded than you'd expect? That might be something called sarcopenia. It's the gradual loss of muscle. But here's the thing. What if we told you this isn't just like inevitable getting older stuff? What if it's actually a metabolic condition you can potentially reverse, even if you're, say, 75? So our mission today is to unpack why the body loses muscle, dig into the single most effective food science points to for reversing it, and share some specific timing strategies to really maximize rebuilding that muscle. Get ready, because honestly, some of this might really surprise you.
Absolutely. And the science here, it's genuinely groundbreaking. It really highlights something powerful. It's just never too late to rebuild muscle. We're not just talking about slowing decline.
Right.
This is about a real transformative potential that's there, at any age.
Okay, so let's unpack this then. After about age 50, you mentioned muscles developing this. Anabolic resistance. Can you explain that a bit? It sounds like the body gets, I think you use the analogy, hard of hearing.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. It's like the muscle-building signals sent by protein aren't heard as clearly anymore. So while younger bodies, they pretty much automatically kickstart muscle growth with protein. Older bodies, well, they need much stronger signals to get the same response, to really initiate that growth.
Stronger signals, okay.
And it's a specific physiological shift. There's this landmark study back in 2019, I think it was, in the Journal of Physiology. It found older adults needed about 40% more protein than younger adults just to get the same muscle building effect.
40%.
Yeah, it really highlights that change. And what's particularly concerning is this protein gap. Most seniors only get around 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight daily. That's just scraping the minimum.
Right, the bare minimum.
But research, like from the Pure Study Group, suggests that for optimal muscle maintenance, you're actually looking at 1.2 to 1.5 grams per kilogram.
That's nearly double what most are getting.
Exactly. It's a significant gap.
So why isn't this emphasized more? I mean, if the need is almost double for optimal maintenance, it feels like a huge missing piece in standard advice.
That's a really important point. And honestly, bridging that gap between the research findings and public health messaging is, well, it's an ongoing challenge. And there's another layer too. Insulin sensitivity.
Ah, right. How does that fit in?
It's crucial because insulin helps get those amino acids, the building blocks, from protein into the muscle cells. But insulin sensitivity can decline by like up to 50% in many seniors.
50%.
And things like poor sleep can knock it down another 25%. So improving that sensitivity means the nutrients you do eat actually get to your muscles more efficiently.
Okay, so it's not just about intake, but also about how well your body can use it. But there's some hopeful news too, right? I remember reading about research, maybe University of Nottingham. They found that muscle building response drops way down by age 70, like almost half. But, and this is the key part, when they increased certain nutrient signals, the older muscles responded almost like the younger ones. That's incredible. What are those signals?
Yes, exactly. And that's where the really fascinating science comes in, figuring out what those signals are and how we can boost them.
Yeah.
A major meta-analysis came out in 2021, examined, I think, 86 different studies.
Yeah.
It found that specific combinations of amino acids can effectively bypass that age-related anabolic resistance, like completely.
Bypass it entirely. So not just manage it, but overcome it.
Precisely. We're talking about potentially reversing the underlying mechanism, not just slowing things down.
Yeah.
And the absolute star player here, the master key, if you will, is an amino acid called leucine.
Leucine. Okay, heard of it.
Think of it as the spark plug for muscle growth. Without enough leucine in a meal, that muscle-building process just stalls. It doesn't matter how much total protein you eat in that sitting.
So the leucine level is like the gatekeeper.
Exactly. And here's the crucial detail for listeners over 50 or 60. You need about 2.5 grams of leucine in a single meal to effectively trigger that muscle growth. That threshold is almost double what younger adults need. And it's about hitting that amount in one go, not just the total over the day.
2.5 grams in one meal, that's specific. How does it work, though? What does leucine actually do?
It directly activates this cellular pathway called mTOR. You can think of mTOR as the main on switch for making new muscle protein. Leucine essentially flips that switch, waking up those sleepy muscle cells and telling them, okay, time to build.
Okay, so it's the direct signal.
Yes. And research at a McMaster University found that just supplementing with leucine alone could restore up to 50% of that muscle-building capacity that usually declines with age.
Half of it just from leucine. That's significant.
It is. And here's something really important for people trying to figure out protein sources. The leucine content seems to be paramount. There's a clinical trial in 2020. They compared whey protein, which is naturally high in leucine, to plant protein. Initially, whey performed better, but, and this is key, when they increased the dose of the plant protein specifically to match the leucine amount in the whey.
Let me guess, the difference vanished.
Exactly. The muscle-building response became basically the same. So what did this really tell you? It's that leucine concentration that's the real MVP.
Okay, leucine is king. So if we need that 2.5 grams per meal, where do we find it? You mentioned one standout food, and I have to admit, when I first read the research pointing to this, I kind of did a double take. It sounds, well, old-fashioned. The single most effective food identified for reversing muscle loss in seniors is grass-fed beef liver.
Yes, liver.
I know, some people listening might be having flashbacks to being forced to eat it as kids. But seriously, skepticism aside, what makes liver so potent? Why is it topping the charts?
It's a fair reaction. But the nutritional breakdown is just incredibly compelling from a scientific standpoint. First off, the leucine. A typical 4-ounce serving of beef liver delivers about 3.3 grams of leucine.
Okay, so well above that 2.5 gram threshold we talked about.
Easily. But that's honestly just the start. It's packed with vitamin B12, like over 3,000% of your daily value in one serving. Crucial for nerves, red blood cells.
Wow.
Then there's the iron. It's heme iron, which is absorbed incredibly well, maybe 40% absorption rate. Compare that to plant iron, which can be as low as 2%.
Big difference for energy and muscle function.
Huge. Plus, it has unique compounds like carnosine, which helps cellular energy and protects muscles. And let's talk protein quality, or bioavailability. Liver has an exceptionally high score, PDCAS, it's called. Basically means your body uses almost all the protein you eat from it.
Maximum bang for your buck, protein-wise.
Exactly, which is really important if appetite is lower, right? You get more benefit from a smaller portion compared to, say, some plant proteins where absorption might only be 60 or 70%. And did you know it also has vitamin K2?
K2. I know K1 is in leafy greens. What's special about K2?
K2 is much rarer in modern diets. And research, like a study in Osteoporosis International from 2018, shows it doesn't just help bones, it significantly improves muscle function in older adults too. Plus, you get this whole complex of other nutrients working together: choline for nerve-muscle communication, copper for energy, selenium as an antioxidant. It's this synergy.
So it's not just one thing, it's the whole package.
Precisely. That incredible nutrient density is likely why liver seems to outperform even high-quality muscle meats in some studies, looking specifically at reversing sarcopenia. And this brings up a really crucial point. It's not just what you eat, but when you eat it. The timing matters, maybe almost as much.
Okay, timing. Let's get into that.
Research strongly suggests getting at least 30 grams of protein, making sure it includes that 2.5 grams of leucine, within about an hour of waking up. Doing that seems to effectively reset the muscle breakdown process that happens overnight and kickstart growth. Muscles just seem more receptive then.
More receptive in the morning. Interesting.
Yeah, there was a study, University of Texas Medical Branch, I believe, where older adults ate the same high-protein meal either right after waking or at dinner time. The morning group had a 30% greater anabolic or muscle-building response.
30% just by changing the time. Why?
It seems linked to our body's natural circadian rhythm, which influences protein metabolism throughout the day. Oh, and another interesting finding, adding just 15 grams of carbohydrates to that protein meal. It boosted amino acid delivery to the muscles by 67% in seniors.
Wow, so a little carb helps shuttle the protein in better.
Things that way. And one more timing trick. Having some protein, maybe around 20-30 grams, about 30 minutes before sleep, that's been shown to increase muscle protein synthesis overnight by up to 22%.
Okay, so front-loading protein at breakfast, maybe adding some carbs, and a pre-sleep dose. Got it. What about lunch and dinner?
That leads perfectly into the next point.
Right. I remember reading about this protein pulsing from Michigan State University. They found that spreading protein evenly across meals was way better, didn't they?
Exactly. That's the protein pulsing concept. When seniors in their study took the same total daily protein, but split it evenly, about 30 grams per meal, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, they gained 25% more muscle mass over 6 months compared to the group eating most of their protein at dinner, which is, the typical pattern for many people.
25% more muscle just by distributing it differently. That's huge. It's like keeping the signal constantly on throughout the day.
Precisely. A consistent signal seems much more effective than one big spike late in the day.
Are there common mistakes people make when they try to time their protein like this? Like, what's the biggest hurdle?
I'd say the biggest pitfall is probably just habit. Skipping breakfast or having something really low protein like just toast or cereal.
Yeah, the standard quick breakfast.
Right.
Yeah.
And then defaulting to that large evening meal for the main protein load. It really takes a conscious effort to shift that pattern, prioritize protein early, and keep it relatively consistent.
Okay, that makes sense. It requires changing habits.
Yeah.
Now, here's where things get really interesting for me. Rebuilding muscle. It's not just about being physically stronger, is it? It seems like it transforms your whole metabolism.
Oh, absolutely.
You called it a metabolic shield against the diseases of aging. I like that. Can you expand on that, like the calorie burning aspect?
Sure. Well, muscle tissue is metabolically active. A pound of muscle burns maybe 6 to 7 calories a day just at rest. Compare that to fat, which only burns about 2 or 3.
So more muscle means a higher resting metabolism.
Yes, and maybe even more importantly, muscle plays a huge role in blood sugar control. Your muscles act like a sponge, soaking up glucose from your bloodstream after you eat. They can store up to 80% of it.
80%. So stronger muscles mean better blood sugar regulation. That's massive for preventing things like type 2 diabetes.
It's a critical factor. And it goes even deeper. Muscle isn't just passive tissue. It's an endocrine organ. It actively communicates with the rest of your body.
Through myokines, was it?
Exactly, myokines. Healthy muscle releases hundreds of these hormone-like signals, over 600 identified so far. They influence everything from bone density to brain function. There's one called irisin, for example, that's been shown to help convert harmful white fat into metabolically active brown fat.
Wow, so your muscles can actually help improve your fat metabolism even without exercise.
The potential is there, yes. And the connections are fascinating. There was a groundbreaking study just a couple years ago, 2022, in Nature Medicine. It found seniors with higher muscle mass had significantly more diverse gut microbiomes.
Muscle mass affects gut bacteria. Huh?
It seems muscle tissue communicates with gut bacteria through specific protein signals. It creates this kind of virtuous cycle. Stronger muscles support a healthier gut, and a healthier gut seems to support better muscle health in return.
That's incredible, the interconnectedness.
It really is. And when you look at the big picture, like longevity, recent analysis of data from thousands of seniors, over 8,000 I think, it found that muscle mass was a better predictor of longevity than blood pressure, cholesterol, or even BMI.
Better than BMI. Wow.
Yes. Plus, the practical benefits. Stronger muscles mean a lower risk of falls, maybe up to 40% lower, and the brain benefits are just remarkable.
Right. You mentioned brain benefits. How does that work?
Well, compounds released from active muscles, these myokines again, actually stimulate brain cell growth and protect existing neurons. We see better memory, sharper thinking, protection against cognitive decline. There was that study in Frontiers in Neuroscience. They saw measurable improvements in cognitive tests after just 12 weeks of a muscle strengthening program, linked to increases in muscle-derived compounds like BDNF.
BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, important stuff for brain health.
Very. And researchers at Johns Hopkins found muscle tissue produces another molecule, cathepsin B. It crosses the blood-brain barrier and triggers neurogenesis, the actual growth of new brain cells. Studies showed combining protein-rich diets with even mild strength training increased the size of the hippocampus, the brain's memory center, by up to 2% in a year. That's effectively reversing typical age-related brain shrinkage.
Reversing brain shrinkage. That's powerful. Okay, so after this incredibly deep dive, let's boil it down. What are the key actionable steps for our listeners?
Okay, practically speaking, first, consider the liver. Aim for about 3 ounces of grass-fed beef liver, maybe twice a week.
Okay, liver twice a week. But what if,
Yeah.
the taste?
Totally understandable. There are options. Desiccated liver capsules are one way. Or you can try soaking fresh liver in milk for about 30 minutes before cooking. That really mellows the flavor. Another trick, sort of a stealth approach, is to finely dice or mince a small amount, say 20% liver to 80% ground beef, and mix it into burgers or meatballs. Adds nutrients without an overwhelming taste.
The stealth liver approach. I like it. Okay, what else?
Second, the timing. Really focus on getting about 30 grams of protein, ensuring it has at least 2.5 grams of leucine at breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That even distribution.
Protein pulsing. Got it.
Third, combine this with some simple strength exercises. Doesn't have to be intense. Chair squats, wall push-ups, resistance bands maybe 3 times a week.
Movement is key, too.
Absolutely. Fourth, prioritize quality. If you're doing liver or meat, look for grass-fed sources. Ideally from regenerative farms if possible. They tend to be more nutrient-dense. Start small, let your body adjust. And finally, if liver is just a non-starter or for vegetarians, focus on strategic combinations. Egg yolks are good. Nutritional yeast has B vitamins and some protein. Whey protein is high in leucine. You'll likely need larger volumes to match liver's density, but it's about being strategic.
Okay, that's super practical advice. Eat liver or find workarounds, pulse your protein, move your body, focus on quality. This whole deep dive really drives home the message. Muscle loss isn't just something you have to accept. It seems it's a metabolic issue that's genuinely reversible.
It is.
You really can rebuild strength at pretty much any age. Your body wants to be strong. It just needs the right building blocks and the right signals.
That's the core message. Your body has this incredible capacity to rebuild and heal. It just needs the right resources. And maybe a final thought for everyone listening to consider. Think about how proactively nourishing your muscles might create benefits far beyond just feeling physically stronger. How could it create this ripple effect across your entire system, improving your gut health, sharpening your mind, boosting your energy, fundamentally changing how you actually experience aging?